And this is what is so incredible about now after the cosmic blessing of True Mother, Kang. You see the pedophile organizations being exploded. I mean, literally the next week, exploding. Hollywood is dying. The little central headquarters of free sex, deviant sex culture, pornography, sexual deviance, pedophilia, you name it, is exploding. And once it's exploding, guess what happens? See, once the pedophile networks start exploding, see, there's so many inner secrets. They're all keeping secrets for packs for one another. But now you see the other Hollywood stars starting to betray them, get unhinged from that pack, starting to actually come out against the directors. Once that explodes, all the other intertwined pedophile networks of Washington, D.C., tied with Hollywood, tied with the girl trafficking, tied with Miami, tied with New York, tied with the fashion industry, tied with the international banking community and the super elites, tied to the royal family of Britain, who are the known pedophiles with Jimmy Savile and Edward Heath, necrophiles. I mean, it's intertwined network of international pedophiles, tied with the Catholic Church, tied with the Pope, tied with the former Pope, tied with the Cardinal Pell, Deputy Pope. I mean, tied. You see what I'm saying? They're all tied, intertwined. They're all working together. They're all pleasuring one another with their little new children that they're sex trafficking from Southeast Asia and different parts of the world, interchanging and interselling to one another. It's all intertwined. You see, once Satan's kingdoms start exploding about the real nature of it, which is pedophilia, which is kind of like the middle level, and then the higher levels are eating and killing children, okay, which is also mentioned in the Bible, by the way. You see, it's no different. All these things are intertwined. And it's no joke that right after true parents are once again solidified at the perfection state level with the true mother Kang, all this starts exploding in Satan's face. Why? Because Satan was the first pedophile. Satan was the first child predator. Isn't that amazing? That's a very good revelation, isn't it? Satan was the first child predator. He was the first child abuser. He was the first sex rapist. He was the first sex abuser. He was a child sex abuser. He went after Eve when he was already grooming Eve by the time she was 12 years old. Oh, you see this? He was grooming them so he could have them. He was the first sex predator. And isn't it interesting? His lures destroyed Eve. He predated on her. Or he preyed upon her. He went after her when she was young. Isn't it interesting that once the Kang true mother was put in her place, was substantiated, a woman who did not take the wiles of the devil, a woman who did not take the promises of fame and fortune, a woman who served from the ground, who served in the churches and evangelism across the world, pioneering small churches in distant lands. A woman her whole life gave herself to Christ. A woman who knows she's not perfect and full, and knows that she's not a flawless individual, but she needs God's grace. A woman who is faithful to God. And you see right after that, cosmic blessing, what starts getting destroyed? The pedophile networks. Why? Because Satan is the first pedophile. Wow, isn't that interesting? Those who are sexually exploiting young girls, who Satan did, he sexually exploited young girl, Eve. Those who are the same nature like Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein's case explodes first. And his lower level crimes of pedophilia with little girls is coming out. In the beginning it was 17-year-olds, now it's 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds. And the rabbit hole just gets deeper. You know this fool has done a lot worse. You're talking about these pedophile networks that sell children, 6 months old children! Little children that can't do anything. Why do you think they want to always open orphanages and have access to children who don't have parents and are dysfunctional? That's what Jim Savile targeted. He was using that as a non-profit organization cloak to have access to dysfunctional children who don't have stable parents, who don't have stable sexual fidelity, who are divorced, who are separated, etc. You name it, because those children are vulnerable. Why do you think Hollywood loves to promote the culture of running away from your parents and running away and separating and come to us, we'll take care of you? Why do you think they glorify in their movies running away from your parents, chasing stardom and chasing your dreams and separate from your parents? Your parents are stultifying you and quashing you, and they're suffocating your dreams. Why do you think they do that? They need to separate you from those who will protect you while you're still young and stupid, so then they can have you in isolation under their predatory eyes, where they can start molesting, touching your penis, and giving you blowjobs in a freaking park like that 11-year-old child in the freaking documentary, whose now life is totally ruined. Do you see? The pedophile networks of the world are now starting to explode in a destructive way. They're collapsing. This is the pinnacle of Satan's secret and how he holds power over the world. It is the pedophile networks. This is how he maintains control. This is how the international banking cartel keeps everybody quiet. This is how the Catholic Church remains in so much power and has an internal hierarchy of blackmail and trafficking. Because Satan's kingdoms are held together by mutual blackmail and mutual subterfuge. That's why any gang will make you commit a crime and run up and kill an old lady to get into that gang, because now you've done something evil and now they have you on film doing it. So if you ever get uppity, they can have and release it and blackmail you with it. Or like the Skull and Bones that makes you like have sex, bisexual and homosexual sex, and get you on video doing it. So the rest of your life they control your career. It's all about blackmail. And the easiest way to blackmail somebody is to have them do deviant sexual things while they're too stupid and they're lured in by the pleasure of it. You see? That's how the satanic hierarchy, that's how these globalists, that's how this international banking cartel and totalitarians are connected. China, North Korea, Soros, Rothschilds, the satanic monarchies of the world, Vatican, the Pope, Hollywood, Silicon Valley, Washington, D.C., you name it. This is how they're all tied to one another. And now it's exploding and burning in fire. Just the beginning. And you see that right after the true mother, Kang, is erected into that position. Satan has nowhere to stand now. Nowhere to hide. Nowhere to hide. Good and evil have been divided. The dove has been divided. The offering is complete. Satan has nowhere to hide. And it's like a chain of events of dominoes in this whole network. Once Hollywood explodes, which it is, it's exploding, it's burning like Babylon. All the connections to Washington, D.C., to the British monarchy, to Europe, to China, to North Korea, all that, to Islamic Sharia Islam, all that starts blowing up. Satan could get away with it, pretending that these super elites are philanthropists. No, they're pedophiles. They're predators who prey on and they want to exploit not only men, women, and children. That's why they hate the parents. That's why they hate the family. That's why they hate marriage. That's why they do everything in their power to destroy you and your family. Because whether or not we realize it, when we have a strong and powerful opposite sex marriage and a powerful ethical life of fidelity with our spouse, we create the environment for powerful children. We create the environment for children to learn proper morals. Especially not only if we just do the practice, but we also talk to them about these things. That's why every socialist, commie, collectivist from Plato was talking about we have to break up the family and parents have too much of a strong bond with children. This is why Hollywood hates you. This is why Hollywood hates your family. This is why Silicon Valley hates you. This is why Silicon Valley hates your family. This is why Washington, D.C. hates you. This is why politicians hate you. This is why they hate your family. This is why they hate you. Because they need to separate you, destroy your marriage, destroy your opposite sex marriage. Destroy your children for them to control. They are an enemy to humanity, an enemy to your family, an enemy to you, an enemy to liberty, an enemy to sovereignty, an enemy to God. And you see it, now their network is collapsing. Their secrets are now out. The dominoes are beginning to fall. Satan's kingdoms are coming down. Isn't it incredible? It's absolutely incredible. They have enjoyed living with impunity. That means freedom from punishment. For too many millennia. The time for reckoning is here. We are in the great and terrible day. We'll be right back after a short break. Stay with us.